Good morning, dear students. Today I will start new chapter and name of the chapter is a separation of substances. Lesson 5, separation of substances. Separation of substances. Chapter 12, electricity and circuits completed, and today I will start new chapter. Name of the chapter is a separation of substances. Introduction. You have learned about the grouping of things in previous chapter, and many things such as stones, wood, etc. are used as such. However, a large number of substances available in nature are mixed with certain other substances. Thus, in order to use them, we separate them by various methods. That is on the separation of a mixture. Some of its components may be useful or all components are useful. Following examples will illustrate the above statement. That is the first one is that the curd is mixed with cold water and then churned with a wooden churner for some time, and due to the churning the butter separates out from curd and floats up. The other components of curd is buttermilk. Both these components of curd are useful and put to different uses. Second, we remove peas from their pods by peeling them, and due to peeling the two components are formed, that is the peas and pea shell. Amongst the above component, the peas are useful components, whereas pea shell have no food value for us and are therefore discarded. And in third, you can see you have already learned in chapter 3 that cotton fiber is separated from cotton seed by the process of ginning, and the cotton fiber as well as cotton seeds are useful products and are put to different uses. And we prepare tea by boiling tea leaves with water for some time, and in order to drink tea we pass this boiled mixture through a strainer, and when tea leaves separate out, the tea juice is a useful component, whereas the boiled tea leaves are a useless components. In table 15.1 are given a few processes under the caption separation process. In column 2 and 3 information is jumbled. Try to match each process with this purpose of separation and use of separated components. That is the activity 1, separation process, and what is the purpose of separation and use of separated components. What is the use of separated component? So first one is the peeling of fruits. To separate seeds from the fiber. And use of separated components. We throw away solid components. Separating tea leaves. To remove harmful components. We use both components. Ginning of cotton. To remove non-useful components, and we use both components for making cloth and vegetable oil. And separating stones from pulses or rice to obtain useful components. What is the purpose of separation? Why we are separating? Because to obtain useful components, and we throw away stones. And separation process, that is the churning of milk. And purpose of separation, what is the purpose of separation? That is to obtain useful edible part. And what is the use of separated components? That is we throw away impurities. Need for separation of mixtures. As stated earlier, no substance in nature is 100% pure. We are getting many things and that is not 100% pure. And some naturally occurring substances contain harmful substances also. And these substances, if used as food, then it can cause serious diseases. And for example, along with arhar dal, grows khechri dal, and the khechri dal can cause the khechri dal can cause paralysis, and if consumed for a long time. Similarly, sometimes mustard oil, it contains arsimon oil, and the arsimon oil can cause nervous disorders, and the water from abundant wells can dissolve in it poisonous substances which can cause serious diseases. Similarly, the wheat from the field may contain harmful seeds of weeds and straw, and the milk adulterated with burnt water and contain germs and bacteria. Rice stored for a year may contain insects and their eggs, and the water from a village pond may contain diseases caused bacteria and germs. Methods of separation of mixtures. Method of separation of mixtures. Before we set out for the methods separation of mixtures, let us try to understand some of its properties. In day-to-day life, we separate quite a number of mixtures as a routine without realizing we are doing so. For example, we strain tea before drinking it. We wash rice and dal so as to remove any dirt in them before cooking, and so on. In common mixture, we can see different components present in it. For example, you can see we can see stones in rice or dal, and we can see the particles of sugar and salt in its mixture, and so on. In such mixtures, it contains retain their physical appearance as well as their other properties. So if we mix salt or sugar in water, they disappear, both disappears in the water, and in solution form, the salt or sugar as well as water retain their individual properties. And various methods are available for separating the constituents of a mixture, and the choice of the method depends on their nature and the properties of its constituents. You have learnt about these properties in this chapter. First one is the separation of insoluble solid from a mixture, that is the hand picking. Hand picking is usually done to separate undesirable substances such as small pebbles, dirt from wheat, rice and pulse. This method is used to remove unwanted particles in which the components of the mixture are different in color, size and shape, and it can be done only when one of the components is present in small quantities. So hand picking. In hand picking method, we can separate undesirable substances such as small pebbles, dirt from the wheat, rice and pulses. It is done by the hand, and this method is used to remove the unwanted particles, and that process is done by the hand picking. Second one is the threshing. What is the threshing process? The process used to separate grain from the stalk is called the threshing. In the threshing process, we used to separate grain from the stalk is called the threshing. You must have seen bundles of paddy, rice or wheat stalk lie in the field after harvesting the crop. These stalks are dried in the sun before the grain is separated from them. Now each stalk has a large number of grains attached to it, and these grains cannot be separated from stalk by hand picking, as they are too many in number and will take a very long time. The farmers make small bundles of these stalks and then hit it against the hard wall of mud or hard substances. In doing so, the grain separates from the stalk. Alternatively, the stalks are spread on the ground, and this in turn frees the grain from the stalk, and these days there are mechanical threshers which hammer the stalks and separate grain from them. Third one is the winnowing. This method is generally used by the farmers to separate husk from grain, and if farmer allow mixture of grain and husk to fall down from a height, and due to the difference in their densities, the grain which is heavier falls down vertically and forms a heap, while the husk being lighter is carried away by wind and forms a separate heap at a small distance away from the heap of grain. Next process is the sieving. What is the sieving process? This method is used to separate the components of a mixture which are different size. For example, undesirable materials are separated from the grain by using a sieve, and the fine particles pass through the sieve while bigger particles remain on the sieve. A similar process is employed when wheat flour is passed through the sieve as to remove the chaff. The size of the hole of the sieve depends upon the size of the particles and which are to be removed. You must have also noticed much larger sieve being used as construction sites. The raw and is sieved as to remove it is straw, tiny pebbles and stone. This sieved and then used to the cement plastic the buildings. So till here you will take revision.